Hi, so we are Team MoNo. We are 4 working adults that are very passionate about reducing food wastage. Yeah. So we do this. By redistributing food supply stocks from suppliers and wholesalers through various channels and platforms. So we have identified the problem in Singapore that suppliers and wholesalers are left with so much food waste due to logistics, best before dates and food waste disposal. And we want to help suppliers redistribute the food that's still good. So these photos are taken by us from the food redistribution that we have been doing for the past month. The first one is like frozen foods that are still good to use but cannot be sold anymore. And then the second one is pickles in pallets of pickles that are best before dates. And we also have damaged packaging from logistics error that actually are still good to be used. Yes. So food wastage is a big problem in Singapore, and 50% of the logistics, and this is 50% of it is mostly through logistics and supply chain mishandling. Yeah. So what we do is to focus on wholesalers and suppliers and help to redistribute their surplus stocks to consumers through group buys and businesses through pantries or restaurants. And the rest of the surplus we can also distribute to charities and NGOs who are in need of food. Yes. So this is because very often retailers return surplus stocks back to suppliers to get a refund. However, there's still the problem of having the surplus that needs to be disposed of. So the scale of the surplus can be in cartons, pallets in thousands, or even a whole container. So there's really a huge problem, like even in Singapore and across the globe. Yeah. So in connection with the Singapore Green Plan, we would like to redistribute surplus stocks from suppliers to consumers and businesses. So what we have done is we have created a Telegram and Instagram channel to kickstart our to source for consumers and businesses who would like to help us achieve this goal. And we currently have 100 plus followers, 150 plus followers, and it's still growing strong. And we have also created a website to list all the foods that are available daily, and we update it daily as a listing. And we would like to develop this in the future into an app so that we can streamline the logistics and the usability of this interface. Yeah. Passing on to Leonard.
Yeah, so currently we are using our group buy channels to redistribute our items. And then we also supply to some office pantries and event management company for the same day use. Also, we are also in touch with many restaurants, hawkers, and fine dining in Dempsey, some central kitchens that can use the items, ingredients. Also, at last, we will probably donate some that we cannot sell to charities and NGOs. Next. So we are looking at a market of at least 10.2 million in Singapore. What makes us different from others, our competitors like Three Dots, SG Food Rescue, Food Bank, and so on, is what we are doing here essentially is more high-end market kind of products. Our products are mostly imported from Europe, and we collect from the suppliers. And then these items are mostly sealed, airtight, air-flown, and they are vacuum packed. So we will have lesser issues of like contamination, not the fresh produce like vegetables and meat. So next. So progress to date, so far we have redistributed close to 500 kg worth of products every week. Yeah, it's like one whole pallet. And we are selling through our channels and also to some people who can use it. Next. So the cost we are looking at very clearly 4 things. The first one is the rental of the truck and hiring a driver. Secondly is a warehouse storage, whether it's ambient or cold. And then we also need to factor in rejected goods. Some of the items sometimes may be rejected. And then lastly is to build our app to make our beta app. And then the revenue is mainly from redistribution, selling of these items. And then we're also doing some logistics service for some of our customers. We hope to be working with more suppliers in the future and also to secure the funding for our app. Next. Yeah, these are the customers that we are currently in touch with. Yep, thank you.
Testing. Okay. Okay, thank you, MoNo. So, judges, any questions or comments on this idea? It's a fantastic idea, though. Similar to Olio, Food Voucher Bank. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello, very good morning. Thanks very much for responding to the Singapore Green Plan and what we're trying to do to reduce food waste. So it's an exciting project, and it looks like you found a sort of gap or where something more needs to be done. Just curious though, I mean, one of the toughest issues about all these charity food, well, in your case, not charity projects, is about food safety. Have you guys thought about how that's going to be addressed and how you're going to get past those issues?
Okay, so in fact, most of our suppliers are very careful in giving us the items also. Yeah, most of our items you can see here are best before date, not expiry date, firstly. Secondly, we are doing mostly like sealed, airflown type containers or can, vacuum pack stuff, products like sweets, chocolates. Some are just the container, just the packaging damage. Inside is another package sealed. Then we also have, sweets stuff, vacuum pack. Yeah, these are some dry goods. Yeah, so we do lesser of those fresh produce. Yeah, even though there are people giving to us also. Yep.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, great. Thanks for sharing. It's very interesting. Just have a question, or rather two related questions on the food wastage issue. So you mentioned, as we all know, I think food wastage is a huge issue in Singapore, but also that your app is pretty selective because I think you want to also maintain quality. So we're looking at cutting down on maybe stuff that's already prepackaged and already can preserve for a longer time. So I was just wondering, with your app, in terms of the impact it makes to reducing food wastage, how big is it? Because food wastage is bigger than just, packaged stuff. There's fresh food as well. And my second question is, because you are kind of like the middleman between the demand and the supply, what happens if your supply is more than your demand, or your demand is more than your supply? Do you then end up with wastage, and what do you do with that? Thanks.
So yeah, that's a very good question. Currently, we do have more supplies than demand. So we are trying to build our followers in our channels. Yeah, in fact, our suppliers are giving us like 3 or 4 pallets worth of items. Sometimes, like this one is in whole full pallets, and we didn't collect everything. Yeah, we try not to waste also. But in the end, we still see them dispose everything. So we hope that we can build up our channel bigger with a fund, with a grant from the YAC. We can probably advertise more and to get more people to know about all these items which are perfectly edible still. Yep.
Usually, like the last resort, sort of almost the last resort is donating to charities that need them, or people that maybe the less fortunate that really the one that we give is still edible. Everything is still okay. So that will be the other option as well. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's just to mainly so that we can scale to a point where like the other giving apps that not necessarily food apps, but if we can scale to that amount where everyone is using it consistently as a very natural practice in their daily lives, then it will make a great impact for food waste in general, whether Singapore or beyond. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I really love your idea. My question to you is, you mentioned the people who you are targeting the redistributing to is consumers and businesses. I want to check if you've thought about any specific target audience you want to go behind, and do you have a plan on how you want to reach them? Because buying food is just so many options, right? And everybody's having sales here and there, and it's a pretty competitive market. So how do you who are you focusing on as your customers, and how do you really plan to reach them?
So Currently, we are hoping that once the COVID is better, then we can probably supply to event like this, yeah, where the people can use it for same day, because a lot of the items are short expiry. Yeah. Then next, I think working with our suppliers closely, yeah, to constantly get the items, whether they give it to us for free or they sell it very cheap to us. I think that's one of our strengths because of the close relationship that we have forged with our suppliers. Then building up the app, getting to more people, for sure. Ultimately, for us, items like this, nobody wants to collect. Yeah, because it's too big, huge quantity. We have to really find the right people who wants to use it. So we have contacted the procurement manager, the GM of Marché, Subway, Paris Baguette, all this, and even Fair Price Finance. Yeah, we hope that they will reconsider some of the items. We are trying to work with the supplier to extend the shelf life, which they managed to get some to extend the shelf life, because our SFA is a rule for Singapore that is shorter. But in overseas, actually, some of the items can be longer. Yeah, and these are sealed. These are some frozen items. So going forward, we hope that we can help to collect everything that the suppliers are giving to us, and just instead of throwing it away, give it to some use. Yep.
Is it working?
Working now. Well, congratulations on being the first one to go on stage to present. So well done. I really like that you are trying to be. Just going back again to what David said, good brokers, because you are kind of like a broker, right? Right, a food broker, and I wonder, actually, there are some of your customers, right, who are really into this and really want to try to reduce food waste in Singapore. But if you really look to who are the end customers, people like us, right, who consume the food, the folks who actually go to the restaurants, the folks who eventually buy, and I don't necessarily think, in my own personal opinion, it's about, okay, the rest cannot we go to give to charities. Actually, everybody from all quarters of society should have the mindset that I don't want to waste food, right? And if it's across the best before date, right, but still okay, I think that should be fine, right? How is it? Is it in your plans to really change that kind of mindset as well? Because right now you're at the logistical area. I think you've got a good handle of it. But if you really wanted to create demand, right, it's really changing the mindset of truly the end customer. So tell me a little bit more about, what are your intentions on that? Thank you.
Yeah, so actually, definitely education is something that we want to show more about. Actually, it's also as we're doing this, we do realize that there is more than what we expected, people that are okay with even going beyond the best before date. So sometimes we're still learning as well, like what is the market out there. So at the moment, we want to do this education more towards our social channels. So it's probably Instagram Lives and all this as well, so that we can reach out to also a younger audience that are probably very interested in reducing food waste, but they don't know how or how to go about it. So education is definitely something that we want to do, definitely.
Just like right now, basically, actually through all different sectors, you be it sustainable and circular fashion, you have like books, exchange, swaps, you have furniture giveaways, like pre-loved groups. So we really want to help the food sector, and we can, I think all the young people, and even like, it's not even the young people, it's just people now would love to do something more for the community. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, MoNo.